A federal judge ruling the FBI's terror watch list violates the Constitution. This list allows the government to identify terrorists trying to get on planes or enter the U.S. Now, it includes over 1 million people, including 4,600 Americans. Here now, Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, does the terror watch list violate the Constitution?
Well, I think that this federal judge in Alexandria, Virginia, made the right decision on the basis of the law as we understand it. So the FBI, which is...
Not exactly an answer to my question, but go ahead.
Well, I agree with him, and I would have done the same thing.
So it does violate the Constitution?
Yes. Obviously, not everybody agrees with that statement, and his decision will be appealed. But his decision is based on the following. The FBI uses subjective standards, unproven allegations, rumor, innuendo, and to some extent, ethnic background, in order to put people on this list. So 26 American citizens challenged this. Some of them, as a result of being on this list, couldn't fly, couldn't get on a train, couldn't cross an interstate border. They were stopped trying to pay tolls at the George Washington Bridge, couldn't enter schools and couldn't enter hospitals, because what came out of this case is the fact that the FBI shares this list with local and state governments. So when the FBI tried to demonstrate the manner in which it puts people on here, it was so subjective the judge threw it out. The right to travel is a fundamental liberty. Supreme Court has said that since 1969. A fundamental liberty is in the same category as speech and thought and religion and privacy. That can't be interfered with by a secret list. It can only be interfered with by due process. You want to put somebody on there, you have to hold a trial, and they have the right to challenge it. Senator Edward Kennedy was put on the list 15 years after he made some statements in favor of the IRA and their then violent activities in Northern Ireland. It took him months to get off that list.
Judge Gary Kalpam here.
Gary!
How are you, sir?
Okay.
I was looking at the numbers, and doesn't it hurt the case that just in the last 5 years, the amount of people on the list has gone from 600,000 and change up to 1.2 million? And I guess people arguing can say, look what you're doing here. You're just throwing everybody onto this list.
It hurts the government's case, yes. Because the government, and one of the things that so animated this federal judge is that no FBI agent who testified in the case gave the same story or the same understanding as to how they put people on the list. They just put them on the list, and if there was any doubt, the doubt should be in favor of freedom, not in favor of being put on the list. They flipped that and put them on the list if there was any doubt.
Wasn't the issue, too, that they didn't actually tell them why they were on the list to begin with?
Not only did they not tell them why, they didn't tell them they were on. So you're crossing the George Washington Bridge from New Jersey to New York, the way you go when you pay a toll, and the toll taker says, I'm not going to take your money, and the Easy Pass doesn't work, and they don't let you go forward, and you don't know why, and nobody tells you why until a year later your lawyer files a lawsuit, and in the lawsuit, she finds out why.
What's the recommendation then, going forward? The vagueness is there still.
The government would have to have a trial, a jury trial, in order to put somebody on that list.
In the case of a national emergency, which was sort of how 9/11 was approached or viewed, I think, by the government, wouldn't there be certain powers given to the government or the FBI that might allow something like this, at least temporarily?
No. The Supreme Court has been very clear. There's no such thing as emergency power under the Constitution, even though there are a half-dozen statutes that give the President of the United States near dictatorial powers in the case of an emergency that he declares. There's no authority for that in the Constitution.
So President Trump could not declare a national emergency and say, as part of the remedy of this national emergency or to address it, we need this watch list.
He probably could do it. And by the time it was invalidated by the courts, the emergency would have passed.
Judge, I'm getting a wrap, but I have to throw in one more. The Council on American Islamic Relations was a part of the challenge to this law, or this position of 1 million people on the watch list. This is a group that was a co-conspirator, unindicted co-conspirator of a terrorist case. They're a group that still does not recognize Hamas as a terrorist organization. It gives me a qualm that they were a part of the group challenging the government's position on this.
Well, the people actually doing the challenging are American
ACLU.
Citizens and the ACLU. I would imagine the ACLU.
But American citizens can make mistakes too.
Right, but American citizens have rights that can't be taken away in secret.
Yeah. All right. Judge Andrew Napolitano, great to see you.
Pleasure,
Thank you
guys.
very much.